we are going to discuss about Minkowski space. In the previous lectures, we have already discussed about Minkowski space and the Lorentz invariance. In today's lecture, we will discuss about Lorentz transformation, that how these Lorentz transformations are represented in Minkowski space. You know that how Lorentz transformations are represented in the three-dimensional space, but now we will discuss about how these Lorentz transformations are represented in four-dimensional, four-vector space, which is Minkowski space. Also, in this lecture, we will discuss about what Lorentz transformation signifies or represents in Minkowski space. So, just recalling what we have done in the earlier lecture, as you know, Minkowski space consists of four vectors, that is x1, x2, x3 and x4. Here x1 represents the x coordinate, x2 represents the y coordinate and x3 represents the z coordinate. In the three-dimensional space, exactly x1, x2 and x3 are all the three coordinates which we used in the three-dimensional space, and x4 is the fourth coordinate of Minkowski space, which is equivalent to iota ct. Here ct, as I have already told you, c is the velocity of light, t is the time. So ct represents the how much distance light has travelled in the time t. So the fourth coordinate has the dimensions of position. So it is a four-dimensional coordinate system. All the four coordinates have equal dimensions of the dimension of the space coordinate. Some students were asking what is iota here, why this is represented as iota. So let me just tell you. Okay. So as you remember, in three-dimensional space, we used to represent coordinates of any particle. Suppose this is x coordinate, this is y and this is z. So in the three-dimensional space, if you have some point here, suppose any point P, so the coordinate of this point P are going to be represented as x, y and z, where x is going to represent the x dimension, x component of this particle P, and y represents y component along the y direction and z along z direction. And for this particle, its radius vector from the origin is represented as, suppose I am representing as the r vector, then r vector is represented as xi plus yj plus zk. And the magnitude of this r vector is represented as square root of these components, x square plus y square plus z square. Pardon for my handwriting. So in three-dimensional space, coordinate of any point or magnitude of any point is represented in the, what do you do in three-dimensional space? You construct a sphere of radius r, which is equal to, you can say r square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, square of the component along the three mutually perpendicular axes. So it should be in the case of four-dimensional space. Here what we are taking in Minkowski space, we are considering a four-dimensional space, where in this four-dimensional space there are four vectors which are mutually perpendicular to each other. The x1 represents the x component, y1 represents the x2 represents the y component, and x3 represents the z component, and there is another orthogonal vector which is perpendicular to all these three, is the iota ct term. And now the question arises, why we have taken iota ct? Now, as you know, light travels with the velocity of light, and if we have to construct a wavefront of light, what we do? Suppose in time t, it has reached at this particular point. So what will we do? To construct a wavefront of the light, the distance travelled by light will be ct. So we will construct a sphere around this of radius CT. Clear? So here what we know is that the square of its position coordinate will be equal to the radius of this sphere will be equal to CT. So as we know, here we have r square, which is equal to x square plus y square plus z square is equal to CT square, which is c square into t square. Clear? So here as we have, let me write it here, x square plus y square plus z square is equal to c square t square. Clear? So here we have the three component. If I take c square t square here in this direction, then what will happen? I will have to take that will be equal to the radius vector. Now this become our radius vector in the 4-dimensional space. Okay, so here x square, the x component, the y component become the x2 component of the vector, the x3 component the z component, and the x4 component is the c square minus of c square t square component, which is the fourth vector here. So if I have to write r square as sum of the 4 vectors, then what will I do? I can consider it as iota square, and I can write it as plus. As you know, iota square is -1, so this will become sum of the 4 vector x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square plus x4 square, where x4 is iota ct. So that's why we have considered a 4-dimensional space where the fourth is the imaginary vector. Is that clear to all? So moving on to next slide. So as you know, in Minkowski space we represent our 4 vectors as x1, x2, x3 and x4, where x4 term is iota ct. I think this point is clear right now. So as you know, in Minkowski space, if we have to represent any particle's position, the position of any particle in the 4-dimensional space, here we have taken 2 dimensions, as it is difficult to represent 4-dimensional space in a 2D paper, or you can 2D sheet. So here we have considered the x component and the x4. You can take any of the 3 component here, x1, x2, x3, anyone, and here is the x4 component, which is iota ct. So position of any particle in this will be called as world point, and the trajectory of that particle will be called as the world line, as I have already told you this. So here tan alpha, as you know, is representing u by c. This calculation we have already done in the previous video. So tan alpha is equal to u over c, where u is the velocity of the particle, the velocity with which the particle is moving, or you can say if we connect a frame of reference to this particle which is moving, then this will become the velocity of the frame of reference. So here the velocity of the particle, or you can say if we are attaching a frame of reference to it, so this will be the velocity of the s prime frame. So s prime frame, as you know, no frame can have velocity greater than light. That means u by c will always be less than 1. So all the points or all the particles which have their velocity less than the velocity of light are going to be represented above this line, and they are represented, the angle alpha for them will always be less than 45 degrees, because after 45 this trajectory is going to reverse. This thing we will also discuss in the light cone when we will consider. So I'm not stressing over this point now, we'll discuss it in the later video. So now what we have to do, what we have done right here, we have done representation of a point, or we can say a position of any particle in the 4-dimensional space. Now if this particle is present in a particular frame of reference and there is another frame of reference which is moving, so how these 4 vectors which we have represented for the particle in the stationary frame of reference, how this is going to these vectors are going to transform in the moving frame of reference. So that will be done by the Lorentz transformation. So how Lorentz transformation are represented in this Minkowski space? As you know, the Lorentz transformation in three-dimensional space where x, y, x prime, y prime, z prime and t prime were already, this thing is already known to you. What we have done here, we have to replace x prime. As you know, x represents the x1 coordinate in the Minkowski space. So the position of here x1 prime is denoting the position of the x coordinate of the position of the particle in the moving frame of reference. Here x1 is the position of the particle in the stationary frame of reference and the x coordinate of that. Similarly, x4 represents the fourth component, which is iota ct term in the stationary frame, and x4 prime will represent the component of the fourth vector, which is iota ct term, or you can say it is just replacing the, this term is basically replacing the time component. As you know, here the time is connected to these three, but time is considered independent here. But here we have connected the time with all the three coordinate systems. So it is a space-time transformation, and here it is space and time transformation. So x4 prime is denoting the time coordinate of the particle in the moving frame of reference, and x4 is representing the time coordinate of the particle in the stationary frame of reference. Similarly, x2 and x3 are representing the y component of the particle in the moving frame of reference, and x3 is representing the z component of the particle in the moving frame of reference, and x2 is representing the y component of the particle in the stationary frame of reference, and similarly x3 is representing z component of the particle in the stationary frame of reference. So how these transformations are done, I think that this much mathematics you can do, but I will tell you about a single transformation. Remaining you can try on your own. So here remember one thing, we are considering beta as v by c term, and gamma is equal to, as we have already taken in the Lorentz transformation, gamma is representing 1 over under root of 1 minus v square over c square. So how this transformation has we have done, I am telling you about this. Let me just enlarge little. So here we are taking x prime, as you know, in our in this here x prime is replaced by x1 prime, which is equal to gamma is replaced by gamma only, and where x is replaced as x1, as you know, and minus, instead of v, if I write v by c, this term will become beta, and also multiply time with the ct. There is no changes coming here. So here, as you know, x4 is basically iota ct term. So what I need to do, I need to multiply it with by iota, and I will have to divide it by iota also. So as you know, 1 over iota is minus iota. So what I can write here is gamma into x1 minus 1 over iota will become minus iota, and minus minus will become plus. So it will be x1 plus v by c term will become beta, and iota ct is the x4 term. So this is what we have done, gamma x1 plus beta x4. You can also represent it like that. And gamma, as you know, is 1 over under root of 1 minus v square over c square. So v by c term is beta, so this will become 1 upon under root of 1 minus beta square. So as I have already told you about the x1 prime transformation, how we have done it, you can also try it for x2 prime, x3 prime and x4 prime. These are very easy, you already know. You can also transform it like this. So now you know how Lorentz transformations are represented in the Minkowski space. Now we are going to discuss what these Lorentz transformation are representing in the Minkowski space. So to understand the geometrical representation of Lorentz transformation in Minkowski space, what we are doing here, we are taking two frames of references. One is x1 x4 frame of reference. For simplicity, we are taking only two frames of reference, two dimensions, but you take it as a 4-dimensional coordinate whose two coordinates are represented in the in this 2D format. Other three are perpendicular to it, which are not shown in this figure. So here x1 is the x1 coordinate and x4 coordinate are represented in the plane of the paper here. So there is another frame of reference which is x1 prime, x4 prime frame of reference, and this frame of reference is rotated through an angle theta with respect to this x1, x4 frame of reference. So here I am not saying that this frame of reference is moving. What I have considered two frames of references. One is x1, x4 frame of reference and another is x1 prime, x4 prime frame of references, which are slightly rotated through an angle theta with respect to the x1, x4 frame of reference. So now we are considering a particle P, which is in this x1, x4 frame of reference. Its position is represented by the coordinate x1, x4, as we are considering only two. So this is the position of this particle in this frame of reference. Now we have to calculate its position in this frame of reference, which is x1 prime, x4 prime frame of reference. So before considering this, we are just going to create a transformation equation for any particle to move from one frame of reference. Suppose its coordinates are given to us in one frame of reference, which is x1, x4 frame of reference, and we have to find its coordinate in x1 prime, x4 prime frame of reference. So we are going to set a transform equation for this. So before considering that, let us consider another example. So let us take a vector here. This is our frame of reference, a given frame of reference. Let it be x1, x4 frame of reference. So this is the x1 prime x1 coordinate. So and this is the x4 coordinate. So let us consider a particle P having the having its coordinate as x1, x4, and this particle its position is x1, x4, and it is making an angle theta with respect to the x1 axis. So as you know, if I have to represent this particle magnitude, suppose r is the vector position vector of this particle, then you know that r is going to be represented as x1i. If I have to I is the unit vector defined in this direction. If I define a unit vector x1 cap in this direction, then I will write x1 cap plus component of this vector along this direction, which is x4, and the unit vector in this direction, if I write it as x4 prime cap. Also, this is what if I know the coordinate of this particle, then I can write its vector as x1, which is the component of this vector along the x1 direction. This is the magnitude. What I have done, I have drawn a perpendicular from here, and this perpendicular, this distance, it is represented as x1. This is the x1 coordinate. Similarly, I have drawn perpendicular over the x4 axis, and this distance, which is this distance, is known as x4, having magnitude x4. So I can write r vector as x1 cap, which is the unit vector in this direction, and x4 cap, where x4 cap is the unit vector in this vertical direction. Also, as you know, if r is making an angle theta with respect to this x1 axis, then its component along the x1 prime x1 cap axis will be r cos theta, and its component along this direction will be r sin theta. So I can write it as r cos theta x1 cap plus r sin theta x4 cap. I hope it is clear. So what I have done, if I have to represent a vector and it is making an angle theta with that, its component along a particular axis will be the projection of that vector along this particular axis. Is it clear? So now as we have to transform this vector here, so we have to represent, if suppose now we take x1 prime as a unit vector, if we, for example, again you are considering this particular example, if I have to take only the unit vector here, then what I would do, I would divide it with the magnitude of this vector, which is r, and if I divide it by r, what I will get? I will get only cos theta x1 cap plus sin theta x4 cap. So this will give me the unit vector in this particular direction. So now considering this example, here I am taking x1 prime as a unit vector, x1 prime cap as a unit vector, and I have to find its component along the x1 axis and the x4 axis. So what I need to do, now considering the same thing, if I have to take component of this x1 prime cap, then x1 prime cap will have component along this direction. I will have to draw a perpendicular here, and this component will be x1 cos theta. So what I am writing, because the magnitude of this vector is not defined to us, I am taking unit vector, so I am taking 1 here. So x1 prime cap will be equal to, this component along x1 will be cos theta, magnitude unit vector along this direction will be x1 cap, and its component along this direction x4 will be sin theta, magnitude x4 cap. Clear? Similarly, now if I take this vector here x4 cap, and suppose I am taking a unit vector here and I have to take its component along x1 cap and x4 cap. So as this is making an angle theta here, x4 cap is also making an angle theta here. So x4 cap will have a component along the x4 direction, the component will be cos, and along the x1 direction it will be sin, and with the negative sign because x1 is positive here, and I will have to draw a line here. So this is making an angle theta here and 90 minus theta here, which will become sin theta, and because the direction is opposite, so the component will be taken as negative. So x4 cap will have a component sin theta with a negative sign along the x1 direction. So I am writing x4 cap is equal to minus of sin theta x1 cap, and it have a component cos theta along the x4 cap direction. Clear? So this is the transformation equation which we have taken here. If I have to take its magnitude, suppose this vector have any magnitude r, then I will multiply it by r here and we will get the whole vector here. So this is the transformation equation. In matrix form we can write it as x1 x4, this is the matrix, and this is the transformation matrix. Basically transformation from the coordinate x1 prime x4 prime to the coordinate x1 x4. So if I have to transform any vector here, we will use this transformation equation and multiply it by here, and we will get the transformation of that vector there. So now considering the particle P, I hope this transformation equation is clear. And if I have to transform, suppose here what we have done, the coordinate of the particle are given in the x1 x4 coordinate, and we have to calculate its coordinate in the x1 prime x4 prime frame of reference. And here if we have to calculate the coordinate of the particle in the x1 x4 frame of reference, and we are given its coordinate in x1 prime x4 prime frame of reference, what we will do, we will just take transpose of this transformation equation. So here x1 prime, this is just a transpose of the equation. This coordinate comes here, this comes here, and this matrix is taken transpose of it. So this will represent the inverse transformation equation basically. So now, as you know, this vector OP, which is giving the magnitude, suppose its magnitude in this x1 x4 frame of reference will be x1 will be component of this vector along this direction. So x1 cap plus x4 cap. So magnitude, these are the vector component in the x1 x4 frame of reference. So I have written it like this. Now suppose if we are taking its coordinates in x1 prime, x4 prime frame of reference, and there its coordinate are x1 prime, suppose in the x1 prime, x4 prime frame of reference, its coordinate are x1 prime and x4 prime. So then the component x1 cap here, x1 prime of this vector will be, I need to draw a perpendicular here. So this magnitude O to this line is representing x1 prime, the magnitude of this vector OP along the x1 prime cap direction. Similarly, if I have to take its component along the x4 prime cap direction, then its component along that direction will be by drawing a perpendicular over the x4 prime cap. So this magnitude from here to here, this magnitude is equivalent to x4 cap, x4 prime. So we can write vector OP in the x1 prime, x4 prime frame of reference as, the coordinates are x1 prime along the direction x1 prime cap, and similarly the coordinate are x4 prime, this much, along the direction x4 prime cap. So this is how this vector is represented in both the frame of references. So now let's substitute the value of x1 cap and x4 cap here. So the value of x1 cap from the transformation equation will be, x1 cap will be equal to what? Multiplication of first row with first column, that is cos theta x1 prime cap minus sin theta x4 prime cap. And similarly the value of x4 cap will be equal to second row with the column, which is sin theta x1 prime cap plus cos theta x4 prime cap. So now substituting the value of x1 cap and x4 cap here in the OP vector, on substituting these values, the value of x1 cap and x4 cap, you will get x1 prime as equal to x1 cos theta plus x4 sin theta, and x4 prime is equal to minus of x1 sin theta plus x4 cos theta. How you get this? What you need to do? You will substitute the value of x1 cap and x4 cap from here, from the transformation equation, and then compare, just compare the coefficient of x1 prime cap and x4 prime cap. So just compare the coefficient, then you will get the value of x1 prime as x1 cos theta plus x4 sin theta, and x4 prime, which is the magnitude of the x4 vector, the position of the particle P along the x4 prime direction, will be equal to what? Minus of x1 sin theta plus x4 sin theta. Also, if you take square of these terms, that is, if you calculate here x1 prime square plus x4 prime square, then you will get that this is equal to x1 prime x1 square plus x4 square. This you can try on your own. If you don't get this, you can ask me to help you also, and you will get to know that x1 prime square plus x4 prime square, that is the square of the components of the term in one frame of reference will be equal to square of the component of the particle in another frame of reference. So you can say that these coordinates are also Lorentz invariant basically. So now let us define the theta angle as tan theta is equal to iota v by c, which is equal to iota beta. So if we define tan theta as this, you will get sin theta equivalent to iota beta over under root of 1 minus beta square, and cos theta as 1 upon under root of 1 minus beta square. So now what we do, we substitute the value of this sin theta and cos theta in the value of x1 prime and x4 prime. You will substitute the value of sin theta and cos theta here. So you will get x4 prime as iota beta x1 over under root of 1 minus beta square plus x4 upon under root of 1 minus beta square. And similarly you will get value of x1 prime as x1 plus iota beta x4 upon under root of 1 minus beta square. Now if you remember, these equations, x4 prime is equivalent to this and x1 prime is equivalent to this, and this transformation is similar to the Lorentz transformation, if you remember. See here, x1 prime and x4 prime both are similar to the transformation we have done. But remember here what we have done, we have taken two frames of references. One is rotated by the other through an angle theta, which is equal to the tan of this angle basically is equivalent to iota v by c, and this transformation equation becomes equivalent to what? Lorentz transformation. So we can say here that Lorentz transformation are equivalent to rotation of axis in 4-dimensional space, which is x, y, z, iota, c, t, through a hypothetical angle theta, which is equivalent to what? Tan inverse of iota v by c. So you can say that Lorentz transformation are orthogonal transformation in the 4-dimensional space. So this in 3-dimensional space you used to represent a transformation equation. So in 4-dimensional space also we will have a transformation equation. So in 4-dimensional space this transformation equation will be x1 prime, x2 prime, x3 prime, x4 prime. This is the transformation equation for the 4-dimensional space, which is consisting of 4 coordinate x1, x2, x3 and x4. And if we have to find the coordinate of the particle in another frame of reference which is moving with velocity v, then its coordinate will be given by this transformation equation.